Hi guys, we will talk about Filipino celebration of the sacrament of First Holy Communion. I will show you guys a picture of a girl having her first Holy Communion. So, first, what is First Holy Communion? First Holy Communion is considered one of the most holiest and most important occasions in a Roman Catholic person's life. It is the first time that a person receives the sacrament of the Holy Eucharist, which is the eating of concentrated bread and drinking of concentrated wine. Second, what is the purpose of First Holy Communion? The purpose of communion is to receive from Christ the nourishment and strength and hope and joy, said Pastor and theologian John Piper. They come from the feasting our souls on the that he will purchased for us on the cross, especially his own fellowship. Third, what is required to celebrate or take First Holy Communion? There are different requirements for children taking their First Communion, depending on the faith and church. All the Christians must first be baptized. Some children are required to take class or classes, and some require the first confession with an age-appropriate examination of conscience and the act of contrition. Fourth, what age is required for First Holy Communion? Normally, children can take their First Communion by the age of 7, which is known as the age of reason in the Catholic Church, but this is not a strict number and may be delayed depending on the cognitive development of the child. Fifth, why do we celebrate the sacrament of First Holy Communion? First Holy Communion is a big moment in any young Catholic's life. It will be the first time they can partake in Jesus' body, blood, and soul, and will be the moment they will remember for a lifetime. Along with their baptism and confirmation, this day is worth celebrating. Sixth, what does the wine represent? The wine or grape juice represents his blood, which was shed to establish a new covenant. It brought the forgiveness of sins and set us apart in holiness. These two pieces became the elements of communion because they are the same elements that Jesus picked up from the Passover table. This is an example of a wine. 7. What does the bread represent? The bread used for communion signifies the body of Jesus, which was broken for us. He took all sin, iniquity, rebellion, disease, grief, and shame. The wine or grape juice represents his blood, which was shed to establish a new covenant. It brought the forgiveness of sins and sets us apart in holiness. 8. First Communion preparations. For First Holy Communion, the children will prepare to meet the Lord Jesus in this very special sacrament. The First Communion ritual celebrates the child's second steps toward full initiation into the Church. The Eucharist is the greatest gift that Jesus gave to us, the gift of Himself. The Eucharist is a gift that takes a whole lifetime to open. It is a gift that requires a response from us. That is why it is so special and why we must take such care that our children are well prepared. At your children's baptism, the parents were told that you would be the first and the best teachers of your children in way of faith. Parental involvement in the preparation of your child for First Holy Communion is paramount. The parish helps but does not replace your part of the process of leading your children in the development of their faith. Through the development and example of your own life, the best preparation for the Eucharist is taking your child to a Mass regularly and helping your child understand what it is all about. First Holy Communion is most often celebrated by children around the age of 7 or 8. when they have reached the age of reason and are capable of participating in the sacramental life of the Catholic Church. Usually, grade 2. First Holy Communion is to be preceded by the sacrament of baptism and reconciliation. Children must go to the sacrament of penance before receiving Holy Communion for the first time. So, in the Philippines, First Communion services often occur on or around the feast of the Immaculate Conception, the country's patron saint, with boys donning either the barong Tagalog or semi-formal Western dress, and girls a plain white dress and sometimes a veil.